Awesome. So, hey guys, Vicky Murgatroyd from Life Empowerment Project. I have one of my awesome clients with me today, and she's going to share with you a little bit about her story throughout the program, her story that brought her to coaching, and what she's going to achieve and where she's heading. So, Cyndy, thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome. It's great.
Awesome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Pleasure. So, obviously, you've been getting some awesome results, and what I'd love to know, first of all, to share with everyone is what you do and who you help.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I'm doing a couple of things at the moment. So currently spending my time coaching people to in personal professional development, and then separate to that, I'm looking at coaching executives and leaders as well in corporate space. But my professional background is actually in HR and human resources. So I've had various roles in HR admin and operations, strategic HR leadership, things like that. So probably for nearly 20 years now. But at the same time as that, I've always had an interest in higher personal development. So, spiritual development, quantum physics, that sort of stuff. And that's been a really an area of my life that I've been really passionate about since I was a kid. So that's pretty much what I do now. Sort of where my passions are.
Fantastic. Absolutely. And I can most definitely tell how passionate you are in everything that you do and the work that you bring with your clients. So can you tell us a little bit about what made you make this step? What made you make that step to work on yourself so you could grow your business?
Yeah, sure. What did it for me was probably being in the HR space. I always enjoyed it. There are a few things about HR that I think met my needs over the years. But as I became in the management area, I could see huge gaps in personal development where, leaders weren't leaders. They were still managers, the old traditional manager.
Yep.
And I could see a gap there in the corporate world where where managers needed help to be true leaders and then to bring their team along with them, and then the team's employees themselves needed help to get out of that sort of stuck feeling of employees just coming in and doing the same sort of thing. And there's a lot of people not taking responsibility for where they were, and there was a lot of the employer is the one that's supposed to give me everything that I deserve, and I'm not going to do anything for myself. So I wanted to get out of the corporate world and have my own business and do some consulting. And the thing that really moved me to taking on getting some coaching myself and some personal development myself was that I realised about 15 years ago, I was actually in this space back then. I wanted to start a consulting business of my own back then. I was doing a little bit of life coaching and dabbling around in that. I'd actually even written workshops for, back then it was for women, but also to empower women and that sort of stuff. But I was just dabbling. I wrote the workshops and shelved them and put them in a cupboard and sort of found them again later on, and realised that I kept, and that was a pattern I was seeing, that I'd get to a point where, I knew that I could do this sort of stuff, and then I'd stop, and I was lacking that confidence to take it that next level.
Sure. So your big thing was the lack of confidence?
Yeah,
all right,
huge.
Awesome. So what have you noticed? Because I've noticed your confidence grow massively. So why don't you tell us about your experience?
Basically, since I made the decision about 6 months ago to just leave the corporate world behind, and I was in a pretty good position. I was earning sort of over 100K a year, and so that security and stability was hard to let go of, and I think that's why it probably took me so long to do it. But even just making that decision kind of I knew that I was backing myself. And so I sort of spent a few months putting some ideas together, but then I hit that wall again. So now that, I wasn't getting any results. So since working with you, though, I've noticed there's been some massive shifts really, really quickly. Stuff that I realised later on was actually happening on that unconscious level. So, I knew that I no longer had a fear of something, or I no longer felt a lack of something that I had before. And now there's this confidence and self-belief that I didn't realise was actually there before, but I can see it now. It's really quite visible and almost tangible. I can see it, I can feel it, I can sense it in every way.
Totally, absolutely. And it's awesome to see you grow into that as well, because it's, as you say, it's been there, but you haven't necessarily been having that connection with it yet.
Yeah.
Yep, totally. I think what you said earlier really resonated with me about you connecting with that belief and just having that, I think in your words, it was something around just knowing that it will happen, knowing that everything you want is on its way, and knowing that every step you take is just part of creating that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is a knowing now. It's
Good.
this sense that it's all sort of filtering in, and it's all happening at the right time, in the right space.
Fantastic.
In the right moment. Yeah.
Awesome. And I know you've got huge value to deliver with your clients, but do you want to tell us a bit about the shift that you've gone through in terms of putting programs together, in terms of working out of an establishment now and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, I'm now, since I started with you, I've got a consulting gig with a wellness practice, and they have just looked after the physical side of people. So they do physio and massage and Pilates and stuff. And I approached them on that same sort of tangent. So I do Reiki. So I said, oh well, can I do some work with you, and I'll consult, and I'll be a Reiki consultant. And she saw my resume and we had a bit of a chat about what I did. And because I was starting to have that confidence to actually talk about it, whereas before I probably would have just gone, oh, that's nothing, and not really mentioned it, I was confident enough to say, yeah, that's what I do that as well. And she said, well, actually, I'm looking at changing up and adding a coach to the services that we provide. So I'm now their resident coach. And they've looked at their website today, and they've actually got me listed. And if you go to, About Us and then Our Team, there's a picture of me in my bio there. And I was like, wow, that's really cool.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's probably one of the biggest things, because it's something I always wanted to do. I always dreamed of doing, and I could kind of see myself doing, but never took that next step to actually get there, never had that confidence.
Fantastic.
To actually get there, yeah. So, and now another big thing within, I think, the first couple of weeks that you and I were working together, I was sorting out my packages and sorted out some price points, whereas I couldn't even dream of thinking of a setting a price or anything like that. So for packages. And then now I'm about to launch my online course and a webinar and workshops.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So it's all coming together very quickly. Now, what would you say has been your biggest kind of realization, your biggest shift for you personally?
Probably that, or not probably, definitely I now trust in myself 100%. I've got that self-belief, which I know that was always there before, but now I see it. Now I know it. I really, really know it. My biggest, I don't worry anymore about what others are thinking, in that, I know I'm good at what I do. I trust others will see that confidence, and that they want a piece of that as well. They want to know how to get that. And so I'm happy, sort of, not just happy, but I'm okay with being me now, and just letting that confidence and that excitement, because I can tend to get a little bit, excitable. So, and that's okay. That's totally. Sort of, that's the people that's going to be attracted to that stuff. So,
exactly.
So What else? There's just being relaxed about my truth, I think, and who I am, and knowing that that's good enough.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah, they're the biggest learnings.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
So how would you say learning those things and kind of putting those together has allowed you to take different action in the business? Because obviously you put programs together, you're working out of a center now, you are just exploding with your progress, and that is a result of the action that you're consistently taking. So what would you say about the shift in you that has facilitated that action being taken? Because I know most women are in the position where they're not in the right mind frame to take that action, so they're not getting the results.
Probably, I'd say the shift that made me take the action was trusting in myself, was knowing that, and I think you were able to highlight some of that. I mean, and it's not like expecting somebody to tell me something that, you know, I want to hear. It's actually being facilitated through that to go down and find it within you, and then go, oh, it's been there the whole time, you know.
Totally.
And you had that ability to kind of like laser in on that and sort of facilitate that process.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just this belief that a part, you know, all that other stuff that you're feeling before and when you start the journey is all normal.
Yes.
You know.
Completely.
I wasn't a freak, and nor is anyone else. It's all, and everyone's on that same journey. That was key as well, you know, knowing that we're all going through that same shit, and you know, it's about sorting that out. So yeah, I think to answer your question, the shift was in believing and trusting that it's all there. The resources are all there. And once you get out of freaking out and stressing out about it and relax into it, you can tap into that. It's all just sitting there waiting to be tapped into.
Totally, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's all in you. And that's the beauty of, I think, what we do, is that there is something completely unique. And as you said, the more comfortable you get being you, the more you're going to attract those people.
Yeah.
It's only you as the most authentic version of yourself that's going to attract those people, and you getting comfortable and trusting in you that you're enough and everything else. And that is something so many women think. But we look at other people from the outside and we think, you know, oh, they've got it all together. They really know what they're doing. But really what you're missing is the duck feet under the water, you know, as they're kind of swanning along. And it's so nice to know that that's just, that's part of the process.
Yeah, okay. Totally.
So what is on the horizon for you this year? Since you got this unshakable self-belief, what are you going to do with it?
Oh, look, I'm going to be starting the corporate stuff a lot sooner than I thought I would be. I had given myself sort of like the rest of this year to sort it all out. You know, I've got to January, February even, because I'm working full time at the moment. So, but it's a contract, and that's got an end date. So that was my out. But but now, and so that was kind of like, you know, plan B. But I don't need a plan B. That's, you know, been shelved. It's plan A, and plan A is getting sped up now. So, you know, I'm looking forward to working at the practice, having clients, you know, one-on-one personal clients, continuing doing the one-to-many work. You know, that's going to be really key, and that's going to kick off really soon. So that will start generating stuff and just flow. And I've already got some key people that I've started speaking with. I've got a list of other people I can go and speak with about doing just some short workshops to introduce myself, and then just get some interest happening. And then going out to corporates, and I'm already starting to have those conversations in the job that I'm in now, to set that all up. So rather than, I sort of was going, oh, I'll do all that back in October or November. Well, I don't need to wait till then.
Yeah, completely.
I can do it now.
One of my favourite things that you said before we started on this call was that you're now going out there and telling people about what you do, whereas before you would just kind of not mention it and just shy away from it. Is to own that and to be that that confidence so quickly is phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had, as an example, today I had a meeting, you know, as in my role as a senior HR person, recruitment agencies are always ringing, you know, to sort of give you their card and say, use us when you need a temp or recruitment later on. So we met for a coffee, and the first thing I did was give her my card. And she's like, what do you do here? Oh, don't worry about what I do here. I'm only here for a short term. This is what I really do. And gave her my card, and she was really interested in the whole meeting. We were talking about that, so
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Completely, totally. And as I said earlier, like, you bring in this whole different energy about it now that you have that confidence and that certainty that you can then spread that to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say would be your piece of advice to people who are wondering about getting on the program?
It's absolutely worth it. I know I had a fair bit of resistance in the beginning, and and I was like, no, I need something else, and you know, and I can't remember what it was that you said, but you gave me the confidence that I needed to. One of the things was, and I find this really, really important, and it resonated with me a lot, was if I needed to invest in myself to make any change, to make any difference. Otherwise, I would have been still spinning around. And you know, I had this vision last night of you know, a car basically parked and not going. It's my car, it's me, and the wheels are just spinning and burning, and I'm not going anywhere. And like, I'm doing all this work, and I feel like I'm doing, you know, all this, spending all this time and all this work on my business, and it wasn't doing anything because I wasn't investing in myself to take it that next level. And it's been worth every minute, you know, every cent. It's just, it's very valuable, because you've got to invest that in yourself, you know, to understand that the significance of the change.
Yep, completely agree. Well, thank you very much. That was awesome. Okay, perfect. So thank you very much for your time, Cyndy, and I can't wait to see your progress as we go forward together.